Central, right?
Yes, it was 8 p.m. Eastern. It was 7
Okay.
Central. Yes, it's on 8 Eastern.
Awesome. So we're going to actually talk mostly about that today. So Barry, why don't you tell me a little bit about what the DJ of the Year is? I know we touched on it last time, but I do want to say welcome back and thank you for coming on with me today. So let's touch more
Anytime.
on the DJ of the Year.
You know, most of this was the brainchild of Jordan, as you know, and we collaborate on pretty much everything. But you know, it was something to do. We watched a lot of DJs going live on Facebook, and now they're starting to police that. You know, with some of the feeds being shut down and stuff like that. So we wanted to create something where we could try and bring DJs together, bring the community together, and just do something really fun. And, you know, of course, I don't know how much involved you were, but when Ben heard about this, I mean, he had no problem at all jumping on board with NLFX, and we were really happy to have him. So we created this DJ of the Year contest, and just, you know, again, something fun for guys to come listen. They're practicing and working on their mixes, hopefully during this downtime, and learning new things. So we thought it'd be really cool. Great opportunity for them to showcase.
So what exactly is it? So when people hear DJ of the Year, they think, are they going to be battling with one another? How exactly do the logistics work?
So battling against each other, that could be the second annual. But for the first part, each DJ that registers comes on. They have 5 minutes to perform as many mixes as they want. They sample, they scratch, they, you know, whatever. You can jam on the microphone as well. Basically, we're looking to be entertained within a 5-minute period. And we certainly were yesterday. So, you know, it's kind of cool. The categories, if I remember correctly, there was creativity, technical, of course, how well the mixes were, overall performance, what we thought. And then we had a panel of judges, experienced DJs that can mix and do all of those really cool things. But, you know, some experienced DJs that have been around for quite some time to offer critique and score them.
So how many people did you have on competing last night?
We debuted with 4 contestants. I believe it's 4 contestants each week. It worked out to just over an hour. So we want to try and keep the show to about an hour in length. 4 seemed to work really, really well.
So I have a little clip from last night I'm going to throw on the screen so people can get an idea of what DJ of the Year is. So I'm going to throw that up right now.
It's the kind of beat that go. It's the kind of beat that go. Pum pum. It's the kind of beat that go. Pum pum. It's the kind of beat that go.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. We had Henry, who was actually mixing, and then we had the panel of judges in the bottom right-hand corner. So why don't we talk about who the judges are to start with?
So the judges consisted of Howard Wallach, Jason Cathcart, myself, and then we had guest judges Rachel Lynch and Nick Spinelli.
Perfect. So I'm going to throw one other clip up where they are discussing who the winner was from last night. I think it's very interesting because the dialogue is very fun to watch. So I'm going to throw that up right now for you guys.
And from episode 1, moving on to our showcase, congratulations to DJ Henry Race with a total score of 167. You are tonight's winner. Kudos to all of you, especially you, Henry Race. So tell me, did you think you could do it? Are you what are you feeling right now?
It's a little overwhelming. It was definitely hard competition. I mean, I know, you know, definitely great talent. I mean, with the 3 other DJs, I mean, it's definitely nerve-wracking. Like you said, being the first ones, I guess you could say. It is nerve wracking, and it's just like any event, anything that I've done. I mean, I treat it like it's the very first time, and you always.
Perfect. So it looks like Henry won, who is the clip that I put up previously.
Yes.
There wasn't as much dialogue as we had talked about before in that clip. So, Barry, will you tell me about the dialogue that that you guys had as judges?
Sorry, my dog was a little upset that she wasn't a judge yesterday. So what was really great was we each brought our own take on what was going on, obviously the mixes and everything, and we each got to to give the DJ what we liked. We also got to give him some tips and tricks and some ways to improve and take what they're doing to the next level. It was really great. We were talking about this before we went on, kind of backstage, but Howard and I are all about the showmanship and performance and the way everything looks. And then you have a guy like Nick Spinelli, who he is 100% into the technical component and the techniques and the mixing and the splicing and all that. And so it was really neat to get many different perspectives of what each of us were watching and what each of us perceived. What was really neat was we're working from a shared Google to enter the scores. And what was really neat that I noticed was our scores for each of the contestants were very, very consistent. We didn't talk to each other. We just scored based on what our impression was. So it was really neat to see the consistency. I really think that overall we made a great decision. Henry was definitely, he definitely deserved to win yesterday and move on to the finals.
So is my next question for you do people still have time to enter if they want to enter into the competition?
As of yesterday, there were still a few spots left. I don't know how many, but if anyone wants to enter, I can give the website, of course. If anyone wants to enter, they can go to djoftheyear.club, and I see you've got that on the screen. And if you want to tune in next Tuesday and watch, it's actually a lot of fun. I believe there were about 170 viewers and lots of great feedback, lots of great comments, very, very positive. So we were really happy with that. You want to watch on Tuesday, you go to djoftheyear.club/live.
I watched a little bit of it this morning too, because it was still up. So I clicked on the link and I watched it, and it was pretty cool to see the different performers on there.
For someone who does bar and bat mitzvah parties and corporate events, there isn't a lot of crazy mixing and scratching involved. It's more meat and potatoes. We do mix and layer and all that fun stuff, but just not to the extent of what I experienced yesterday. So I was actually really impressed.
And my next question for you, Barry, is what do they win? If they win, so each week you have these people who are competing, and then you narrow it down to one winner per week. And then do they do like a final battle?
Yes, the finals have not been announced yet, but all the winners from the previous weeks will come back, and the winner will win two amazing things. One, I don't know what else Ben is putting in the package, but number one is a golden microphone courtesy of NFLX. So we're really excited about that. I actually haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's 24 karat gold plated with a yellow covering to protect it so it doesn't get scratched or damaged. I don't know.
Maybe I can bring it to the show and we can show people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, bragging rights, during what's going on in the world, again, bringing the DJ community together and getting everyone sort of as many people together as possible. It's always a great thing. And we're happy that we're able to be a part of it. We really wanted to see how this first round played out. And when we come back with next year, definitely we've already been making notes. Definitely it's going to be next level, and we'll get some really cool prizes.
That's awesome. So can you give me a little sneak peek onto who's on the roster next week? Do we know that
Ye-
yet?
You know, it's really interesting. There's only one person on the planet that knows, and that's Jordan.
Jordan!
Basically, what he's been doing is, I'm speaking for him now. So basically, what he's doing is he's going to do the lineup so he can put it in the Google Docs, and then it gets emailed out to all of the judges prior to. So we can't prejudge, and we can't decide what we want, who we like and who we don't like. We really won't know until just before the show. And I think it's great to keep it that way for the judges. That way, again, we can't have any kind of pre-perceptions or anything.
I also think that is a really good idea. So no inside information for Katie this week.
Sorry. I can tell you this. They'll be pretty good.
Yes. What about judges? Who are your guest judges next week?
I know Nick had a blast. I mean, he's just funny, and he got a special haircut just for the show. I don't know if you saw in the clip, but Nick is going to be back on Tuesday from what I heard. I know Rachel is on assignment, so there'll be Jason, Howard, myself, and Nick. And I'm not sure if we're going to have another guest judge. Might even be you. I don't know yet.
It could be Ben. You might want to get Ben in there. He's very technical.
Ben, actually, I think Ben would be a great judge as well from that technical side. So let's make that happen.
I'm more like you. I'm more about showmanship rather than like the technical. I like the energy. I like to see people's faces and, just how they grasp a crowd.
Yeah. Well, we had Josh on the show yesterday. And what was really cool was Josh didn't wear headphones. He was just front and center, and his mixing, of course, some of it, I know a lot of the guys have preset samples and stuff that they do, but he did the whole thing just by watching the waveforms on his laptop and his controller. And what was really great, what I liked about him, I guess you would too, is the fact that he was front and center facing you and entertaining you the whole time. And so again, it's neat because everyone has their style. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool to see, we had 4 guys that are all amazing DJs, and you can totally tell that in their own universe, they're amazing at what they do. So we were really happy that they signed up.
That's awesome, guys. I am looking at the comments. So if you have any questions or comments, write them below and we can get to them. So Barry, one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap it up is last time we spoke about you doing virtual events, right?
Yes.
So I want to touch on a few things what have you done since then? Have you had any events since then? How have they gone?
So since we spoke, I think it was about a month ago, early May, I got a phone call to do a live stream, and it was for a funeral. But what was interesting about the whole concept was the family, they couldn't be here, and they wanted the entire experience. And, again, one of the great things about being creative and being innovative and having, that experience is, they wanted the viewing live at the funeral home. They wanted the drive from the funeral home to the cemetery. And then, of course, the service and the burial. And I'm thinking, I don't have a network cable long enough to make that happen. And so I started exploring. A lot of people are streaming live on Facebook, and I didn't want to do that either because, you want it to be private. I don't want to stream someone's wedding or funeral on my Facebook page. So we signed up with an online stream service, and I went through about 8 apps until I found the one that worked flawlessly. And I bought a Steadicam gimbal for my iPhone. And what was really amazing was we had a dedicated cell line, and it was all cellular, not one glitch, not one hiccup. The audio and video was spectacular. And the family, the feedback I got afterwards was amazing because they actually saw and heard everything that they needed to. Of course, I muted the mic while we were driving to the cemetery because my wife was the driver. So, you didn't want to hear us going back and forth,
right?
Or the flashes going click, 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 So, but you know, it was really neat. So, and that was 2 hours and about 15 minutes of a straight live stream. The cool thing is we've adapted that to weddings. We have 2 wedding ceremonies and a graduation coming up in the next several weeks, where luckily we don't have to drive all over the place, but we are going to live stream. I'm going to use the same techniques. We're going to be outdoors for both weddings. So as long as there's cell service, will be great. And it's been working fine. And of course, you know, you have to, this is part of it. You obviously have to give the disclaimers that, listen, I can promise you that the upload of the stream is going to be good. But, you know, if Aunt Sally in Florida has a horrible internet connection or Wi-Fi is cutting out or whatever, I can't be responsible for that because I've really no control over it. And it's like that with anything. Like I'm hard lined in with you right now, but that doesn't mean that my feed couldn't still freeze depending on what else is going on the network. Right.
I think that's awesome. So I want to get back to, I'm really excited about the DJ of the year. So I am going to, I think, throw up Henry's mix one more time for those that didn't catch it in the beginning. And then we can just touch base one more time on the website so we can go to.
Yeah. And then I'd like to share one last thing with you before we wrap
absolutely.
It up. Awesome.
Right now or?
It's up to you. It's your show. One of the other things that we're doing that's been really hugely successful is my wife and I, we talked about this last time. My wife and I created an online radio type show called On Air with Barry K. If you're on Facebook, you can go to On Air with Barry K. There's a group there that you can join. We'd love to have you. And the viewing site or the listening site is really simple. It's live.barryk.ca. And every Saturday night from 8 till 10, we create a theme. And you have a virtual dance party in your living room. And we've seen lots of video footage and lots of pictures and of people having fun outside on their patios, in their living room. And it's really remarkable. And again, I think it's something really cool because you know, we're not just live streaming on the internet. We're actually doing something really cool for people. That really what my company is known for. And what's really interesting is each week we do themes. So this past Saturday, we had a Manitoba social. So people were sending us pictures of their rye bread with their cube cheese and their kubasa and dancing around their living room. And it was just remarkable. This Saturday night, our theme is Girls Night Out. So we're featuring, we just launched it this morning. So Girls Night Out. So all female artists and girl bands on Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. We do pre-show at 7:30 and the show starts at 8, which is really cool.
That is awesome. So one quick question before we show that clip again. Are you guys opening up there again? I mean, well, I know here in the States, we are generally, I think a lot of places are on phase 3 already where the bars and restaurants are opening. So
we're not on phase 3, although restaurants and bars not nightclubs, but like beverage rooms and stuff like that have opened at 50% capacity. Same with patios. I mean, the patios opened up sooner, but inside you can have 25 people, but restaurants, of course, 50% of capacity. And outdoors, you can have 50 people congregate together. There is still no dancing allowed as here in Manitoba. I know in Calgary, they opened up dancing, but again, I don't know who's gonna police social distancing on the dance floor. You know, you're within 6 feet. So, you know, for us still, phase 3 won't open until they were talking, I think today, June 26-ish. But again, I don't see my entertainment business, like, you know, for actual DJing, with full out dances and production and that sort of stuff. I really don't see that happening. I'll be really, really impressed if we're doing something by October, but I'm not getting my hopes up. So we've been trying different things to stay busy and pay the bills and just, you know, try and have fun. Oh, Jason Cathcart's from Calgary, and he just said only allowed to dance with cohorts of 15, and then he gave us an LOL. So there you have it. That's Calgary. Winnipeg still no dancing.
Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here. I'm going to put that clip back on so we can check out the DJ of the Year footage from the winner of last night's episode. Do you call them episode? What do you call them?
It was episode 1.
Episode 1. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Henry.
It's the kind of beat that go. It's the kind of beat that go. Pum pum. It's the kind of beat that go. Pum pum. It's the kind of beat that go.
Oh,
Perfect.
am I back? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
we're back. All right,
awesome.
so that's it, guys. It's DJ of the Year. We chatted about it today. We chatted about what Barry's doing now. And then the final question this week, it should be interesting because you are in Canada, and I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. But my son Jackson wants to know, if you were president, what would you do?
The short answer is I probably could sit on a chair and do nothing, and I'd be doing a way better job than the current how can I say this?
Situation.
The current person. That's a really interesting question.
You know, and I wasn't going to ask it because it is kind of a loaded question, and I tend to stay away from politics, religion, all, just your normal stuff. But he was very curious about it, so I figured I would just go ahead and ask it, and if it went in a bad direction, I would just kind of steer it away.
The only thing, I won't say anything negative, but the only thing I would say is I would definitely think really, really hard before I go live to the nation and open my mouth. I think that's the only thing I can really say without getting too political and stuff like that. So, anyway.
Well, I will let him know.
Yeah. Raises for everyone.
Before you speak. That's a good one. If you were president, you would think before you speak.
Absolutely. Well, at least listen to my advisors and stuff like that. But the big thing is raises for everyone.
Right. All right, Barry, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, and I understand you're on holidays right now, so I really appreciate you coming in just for little old me.
Yes.
And how long are you off for?
I am off until Monday, but I am doing my webcast because I've committed myself to them. So I am doing them today, tomorrow, and Friday. But the rest of the day I'm off. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, Saturday night, if you're not doing anything, you and your hubby should jump on to On Air with Barry K. It's going to be a great show. live.barryk.ca. So we're looking forward to having you on.
Has his first. He's got some stuff going on now that the world is opening up. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You could have just said no, but that's okay.
No, I know. If I'm able to, I totally will. I promise.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, that's good that he's at least able to get back to work. So that's awesome. I hope you have a great weekend, and thanks again for having me on.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. If you have questions, write them in the comments. We will monitor them after the fact. All right.
Okay,
See you guys
bye.
tomorrow.